Alright, this is recording, and I am an idiot, because I just went for about an hour going through this video, essentially, before realizing that I forgot to change the scene in OBS, so you were staring at the webpage the entire time. Okay, so, Hitman 2 got a game update to 2.12, and part of it includes, down here, some graphics changes: screen space shadows, reflection quality, motion blur, dynamic sharpening, SLI performance, which I'm not looking at performance right now, and I'm also not sure if I can really get SLI working well. Simulation separation, which I can't show you right now. I can explain why in a little bit. Yeah, I figure with these, why not go back into the game to look at the minimal quality stuff. I've already been looking at this stuff and coming to some conclusions. Turn that back on. So I'm back to having certain things on to a more or less high preset for doing comparisons. For now, I have motion blur, dynamic sharpening off because they may be influencing the appearance of other things that I don't want them. And I don't want them doing that because I want to have a reference and then see what the changes are, so I don't want those interfering. So what I had already done was actually look at reflection quality, so I can talk about that perhaps more coherently and concisely than earlier. By definition, low is the minimal acceptable. You do not want it off. No reflections does not look that good. Low isn't great looking, but it works. Medium and high do look better. I got a theory for what the difference is between them. Both, however, can suffer from an artifact that I will show you when I get to that. Right now, though, what I spotted is what screen space shadows can do. So right now it's on, and look. Yeah. Okay, I need to make a quick change here. Hopefully it will work. There. I'm trying to capture the cursor. Okay, so see where the highlight currently is? Motion blur and dynamic sharpening? Look over to the right on the front of the car. See it? There is a change in the shadows there. That is literally the first change I've seen as a result of screen space shadows. I'm not even sure what exactly is casting that shadow. Okay, now I get it. I like that. That's actually neat. I'm actually kind of surprised that isn't part of the ambient occlusion then. Because, you see, when aligned like this, the very front of the car is occluded by the car itself. So there shouldn't be the shadow extending down that far, because it's already being blocked. It's already in shadow, and the same level of shadow, so it's not like there's a combination of shadows there. So turn it on, and you have that effect. So on is more accurate then, okay. And now I know what the hell it is I'm looking for. This might still be a, how do I want to put it? It might still be the kind of effect, though, that you're not going to notice most of the time, in which case off would be perfectly appropriate. Now I do have the shadows set to high. It's still ultra above.
Wow, that's a big freaking bird.
Thank you. I was tempted to subdue him, yes. Alright, I honestly don't know where else I'm going to find an example for the screen space shadows. So, I will just make myself a note. Off. On. So just a note that it doesn't seem to be much of an impact with it being on, so yeah. I cannot tell you what the dynamic sharpening is doing. I really can't. I cannot picture. I cannot spot it. I mean, it's also, I never spotted any like blurring from the temporal aliasing when playing. So, and the fact that you can't disable that makes it harder to tell. So that I guess dealer's choice, because I'm also not sure what the performance impact is from it. But I mean, I haven't seen anything. And look at what he's wearing. There's a lot of detail on this, and it's all there with that dynamic sharpening off. It may be stuff in the world that would be impacted, but it's still a... I'm unconvinced that dynamic sharpening is really needed. Okay, I want to quickly do something here, though. Shadow quality to ultra. Let's just... I see that, and that... Why are there the two shadows? Dude, that doesn't make too much sense. That's why. Okay, that's a... Well, Okay. Let me... Nope. So, this is actually an interesting bug of sorts. See, right now, the shadow from that rope is not... Well, oh wait, no, I guess that is accurate. That's a little awkward. Just the rope is hanging far enough out that that shadow does make sense, but when you turn that on, it unfortunately is adding a second shadow, but that shadow actually does look better. Oh, I see what it's trying to do, at least. Okay. So I'm guessing it's trying to not... The reason why it's fading out is because the rope is just far enough away, it doesn't think the shadow should be cast on it. It still should be. The angle is such that it should be. It would just be a weaker shadow. Whereas the normal shadow engine is having that portion there. And I'm sorry, I just got really paranoid and need to make sure OBS was actually capturing. So the fact that they're not aligned is an issue, that is a bug, but at least it does show. And when that shadow comes out, it does look like it is sharper than the shadow that's normally there. Okay. But that does also tell you the screen space shadows are supposed to be on top of what's there, so...
I may only be a tech reporter, but I have ambitions too, you know. The fact is that Kronstadt is very likely withholding information on what actually happened in Tungan Valley, and I
want to look at this. See if this changes at all. It does change a little.
think the people have a right to know.
So it looks like there's actually... Yeah, you can see that there. So this wide shadow makes sense because it's at such an extreme angle that it would make the shadow seem wider. But unfortunately, the screen space shadow has such a limitation. Would you mind being quiet? Has such a limited distance on it that it's leaving a gap there, sort of like what we saw over there. Okay. That is unfortunate. Okay, I want to come here. You can't stop me.
Okay, good.
You can't. Oh crap, which way can I go that's...
Abandoned apricot farm.
Okay, I
Which
can't
according
do
to sources at the
But it sure is loud.
Not
I
that.
heard something about a secret demo upstairs in the expo building, but it's all winter.
Alright, an actual mirror may be better, but this may... well, maybe it won't. Alright, well here, I can at least show you with the reflections. That's fine. At off, that is not nearly as good looking. But that is what it would look like without normal screen space reflections. This, by the way, would be like a pre-cooked a reflection map, so it's already been rendered and it's just being placed correctly. And actually, it's fairly well blurred. The like subsurface scattering kind of thing, the light scattering of the texture of the ground, that's actually pretty good looking there. No, further down, there it is. Low doesn't look all that different. It's actually not too surprising. I need to get some water. Oh, now that's interesting. It just not stick. Huh. Weird. Let me see if I can do that again. Was on high. I popped it to off. I looked around. Huh. I wonder why I didn't actually want to apply before. But even at low, this definitely looks better and is much more accurate. Okay, I need to find a bathroom now. I need the mirror.
Did you know that flamingo's wingspan can be as large as 5 feet?
Okay, I honestly was not expecting you to talk to me. Just a second, I'm kind of curious if this is being fed through the reflection system. Nope. At least I'm not seeing that there. I go down to low. I never actually paid attention to that before. That's actually pretty cool. I think there's a bathroom over here.
Of Moreno cartel boss Esteban Montoya's beloved nephew.
Perfect. Absolutely perfect. Could be wider. There. Yeah, that's not gonna do it. Okay. Well. Not easily. The bathroom I was using before I realized that I wasn't recording, at least not the right scene, was downstairs. Let me try to get to that. And it just had a nice wide mirror, so there's a lot to look at. Including a very clear image in the background that worked well too. So I'm just... not really. I only have a reflection on those. No. You go this way. That tunnel won't take me there. The one over here that I came out of will have me nearer one. Actually, this will work. It was a bathroom near the parking lot.
Have you noticed how difficult it is now? What happened?
Down here, I think. Yes, I believe so.
That thing's beyond fixing.
this one. Okay. So this is at low. And you can tell that the reflections are not the same resolution as the image. Which, yeah, that definitely kind of stinks. But you know what? It's there. It's serviceable. As opposed to that, which looks horrible. And there's also that weird warping there, and I don't know why that is. Like, seriously, I'm not sure why that is. If you look, though, you'll see it's the same reflection map that's used for the metal of the paper towel dispensers, but I do not know why it warps like that. It is weird. I don't like that. So I did settle on low. By definition, minimal. This is still good looking. This works. I'm not sure about that artifacting that I'm seeing along that edge there. That's obviously not there. That might be that it's not getting all of the visual effects. But if we go to medium, you will see it gets a lot sharper. In fact, it looks almost exactly like if I were to turn around what it would look like. It just, though it doesn't have the anti-aliasing being applied to it, at least not as well. Yeah, if you look here at the top of that door, there's no aliasing there to speak of. But if you look at it here, there it is. You can see some aliasing. That's not so nice, but there could be a number of things feeding into that. So, what is the difference between medium and high? Because that looks really good. Pop that up. Hang on, I didn't realize I had motion blur accidentally turned up to low. Oh, that's what I did when with the reflection quality earlier. I accidentally set the other one up. I moved motion blur up. That's why I didn't see it change. Okay. So, again, that looks pretty sharp. There's just something on the mirror that, when I moved... Okay. So it is fairly sharp. So, what's the difference between medium and high? Well, look. You can see there's a ghosting around his face. It's actually going to be everywhere, but it is around his face. That isn't there with low. Seriously, it's not. I'll turn it off and you'll see. At least I'm not seeing. Maybe there is a little bit. So here's what I think is happening. And it's there on medium. Oh, that's not what I want. It's there on both medium and high. What I think is happening is it is using a kind of temporal filtering to improve the image quality. So if you look at the symbol, the male-female symbol on the doors, either one, when I move, it gets really soft. But when I stop moving, okay, I think there's just grunge on the mirror there. It sharpens. I'm not spotting as easily. I'm also constantly getting in the way of it. Let me make sure this is actually on high instead. See, earlier when I was doing this and wasn't capturing it, it was so clear. Okay, right there you can see it. Maybe I was just... Anyway. That's what's happening. Oh, there. If you watch the letters. Which, hang on. Actually, if I do it this way. You can see the detail comes in. So yeah, that's actually much better if I move like that instead of... If I move the camera around instead of moving 47 around. So, here's what I think is happening, because it's not present on low. Nope. That one. Nope, not off. Low. It's just always like that. So what I'm pretty sure is happening at least it is my best guess, is that this is actually the resolution. Let's just say it's a quarter resolution. I don't know if that's the case. I'm just saying let's assume it's a quarter resolution for the sake of this discussion. It's a quarter resolution and then it's being upscaled in order to match the resolution of the screen. So, yeah. Well, that's what low is doing. At medium and high, what I think it is doing is a temporal filtering trick where, why did I say a quarter resolution? Because that means that every 1 pixel was derived, well, instead of, with a quarter resolution, you can think of it, instead of sampling 1 pixel each time, you're sampling 1 pixel in a 2x2 grid, and you're applying it for that 2x2 grid. Now, if you were just to sample at a quarter resolution, technically you'd probably be sampling at the center of that 2x2 grid. What you can do with some temporal filtering, though, is you can jitter it. So you'll sample the center of the upper left pixel, then you'll sample the center of the upper right, then lower left, then lower right, and then back to upper left, upper right, and so on. So you can do it that way, and by using temporal filtering to blend all the shading results, the color results together, you can actually recreate what the full resolution was, as though you had just sampled each pixel once, all at the same time. You have to not be moving for that to happen, though. The detail fades in as it collects the information. And that, I believe, is what we are seeing right there. Is that it is, with those additional frames, that those additional temporal samples, it combines it all to produce this. But it can have the negative impact of, because you're relying so much on temporal work, that you are ghosting, because you have that old information being used. Now, the research paper I read about that discusses using temporal filtering like this to actually get spatial supersampling, which is kind of what is happening here. It's just going up to the actual resolution of the screen, I believe, as opposed to a higher resolution, like SSAA 2x or 4x would do. And I kind of lost my train of thought. It's just trying to get at this. But one thing that I talked about was that updating upper left pixel, upper right pixel, lower left, lower right, let's just say 1, 2, 3, 4. Instead of updating those pixels, well, those samples, you would have 4 buffers for storing all the information for each pixel, 1 buffer per pixel. Instead of updating them 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, if you actually do it in a different pattern, that is, it would be pseudo-random because it's not being randomized on the fly. It was they worked out and found that this pattern works, does have random characteristics. It's just it's already set, so I'm not sure if it actually counts as random. But anyway, if you do that, you can actually avoid this issue. Even though you may then have a buffer going longer before it's updated, because you're also weighting the impact that sample has on the coloring of the pixels by how old it is, it still works out that it actually can remove artifacting kind of like this. Anyway, my conclusion for minimal acceptable is low, but this is actually really neat though. I'm glad to see this here. By the way, that paper that I was talking about is like from. Actually, let me look because I have it. It's that here. 2009, so it's 10 years old. Yeah. And hey, I finally have an example where I do believe that is what's happening here. Wow, that is a really nice close-up of him. Alright, I want to do something though, because I did notice a little bit of a blur on him. Let's do that. See, now that I got this nice tight view of him, I mean, even with that sharpening off, I'm still pretty happy with with the detail on him. I mean, it's... I'm not kidding. When well, you'd actually be able to know if you just looked at the review playthrough. But I was, with this costume, I was like, wow, it looks very nice. They did a very good job with it. You know, hang on, I got an idea. Oh, that was only for high. What is it that I could push up higher? Yeah, that won't make a difference. Let's put that down to low. Okay. I'm maybe there's a little bit of a blur, but it is really not that significant. I don't think you really need the dynamic sampling. Sorry, dynamic sharpening off. Alright, off. I don't like motion blur. I don't really want to look at it, but fine, let's do that. There. Okay, so it doesn't help that, which isn't surprising. Maybe I should just skip motion blur. Guess I can see a little bit there of what motion blur would deal with. Nah, I'm not noticing it. I might need to look at something else. But for now, let's not worry about that. Let's quit this. Oh crap! I didn't mean to actually quit the whole game. Well, that's fine. Yep. Yes, part 2.12, because that's the I was already thinking part 2, but the actual version number of the update is 2.12, so it just made sense. Yeah, so there. Sorry, I didn't mean to actually fully quit the game. While I'm out, I'm just looking at some of this stuff. Alright. Oh yeah, let me play. Or the beeps were for chill. Do I need to? No, I can change it in game. The sampling, the simulation. I'm just trying to think, where do I want to go? Because I don't think this is worth going to 2 additional. I had gone to Mumbai and the Isle of Sigale. I don't know how to pronounce it. Previously, I think I'll only do one of them. Let's do Isle Sigale, because that may be, there's a lot of shadow and a lot of darkness there. That might be a better place to try to spot the screen space shadow stuff. But first, want to quickly, once this comes up, want to quickly go over and cover the simulation thing. Down here, graphics. Yeah. Alright. Yeah, so base, which it's only base, better, and best. Yeah, I'm actually gonna go to best, because that is what it would recommend for me. Yeah. Huh, that's interesting. Well, I guess that makes sense. So I guess that might mean then that last paragraph there, that there may be like more people, whereas at base there may be fewer. But I've got 16 cores, so it would recommend best for me. 4 cores, 6 cores, yeah. Alright. So that is, yeah, I'm gonna make that note. That is probably best left to auto. There. Leave alone. Accordingly, go with that. Yeah, I mean, it's... Hang on, I'm also making a note about the motion blur. Choice. Yeah, and just, it's still personal choice, and I couldn't notice the difference myself, but then I am so used to never having it enabled that yeah, I never have motion blur enabled. I'm probably just used to it not being there. So I may not notice the difference so much, unless it's really bad motion blur, which is the case in some games. Alright, I'm happy with leaving... Yeah, I'll still look at it, but I don't think I really need to look at it too much. The, other thing. I do need to work on the escalations at some point. I've been busy with other things. Alright. That actually doesn't give me as much access as you'd think. Only I had one of those. Yeah, let's go with that anyway. Lockpick. There's a part of me that wants to use it, but now I'll keep it to the fish. Yeah. Alright. Okay, not allowed here. Haha, you can't stop me. I'm not allowed up there.
Clouds. They say it belonged to Montezuma himself. It was lost for over 500 years.
What are you afraid I'll beat you again?
The gifting is about security.
See, it's here that I may, and also over there actually, that I feel like I may be able to spot the shadow differences. Which I'm also a little curious. Is there any? Not really. Okay. I mean that makes sense. The reflection of the light on the ground shouldn't be that significant. It should be baked in, is what I mean. So it's you shouldn't see a difference with the reflection quality setting.
Gee, just cancel the appointment already.
Come down here. Oh yeah, that's right. Oh, there is a bathroom right over here in that bunker of the future thing. Only, yeah, right back here. Have a bathroom. No mirrors, though, which is kind of funny when you think about it. I'm very curious. What is it? Okay. Sorry. Yeah, so here, there's already scattering being done, so I would hope, I'm pretty sure it is possible, technically, maybe not in all cases, to limit where certain effects can be applied. I would hope that this is just being run at that low reflection, they're not bothering to try to do the medium or high, because there should be no actual difference with how that's being scattered down there.
Sup?
Although, I'm just a little curious. No, there we go. Oh wow, that does surprise me. I mean, okay, the people, wow. Okay, so that is fixed, so it makes sense that that's there. That is that light. It's like, those are fixed. That makes sense that those would be baked in. I'm surprised, though, that, like, the roof there, the ceiling in there isn't. Wow, that is a definite, this should be a low to me. It's like, that is minimal. Wow, that impact is huge. There is a bathroom nearby. The bathroom. Pop that up to high. Even when Heat just turns his face, you'll see the blur and also the ghosting. How it blurs in. Okay, now I was like, I already know that. How that works. Yeah, let's see, like I said, I don't know. And also, I'm not, well, because I'm using chill, I'm not actually sure how impactful it's going, the motion blur will be regardless.
Get away from me, you
It does add to the mood for sure, but I figure it's mostly about discretion.
That was weird how she just popped her legs in. Yeah, I am genuinely unsure where some of this stuff is. There's no shadows here. At least none, I would think, for that. This, maybe? Let's try looking. No, I don't see any on that statue for it.
Well, one thing I like about
Sir.
I actually have a strong opinion of this. If I ever see those things. What are those Picasso style bunkers? Be back about 50 minutes.
Yeah, I'm honestly unsure where I'll spot. I am feeling like with the screen space shadows, that off is just, that is perfectly fine, because does it make an impact on its realism? Yes. Are you going to notice it? That's the thing. That's kind of the idea to the minimal acceptable quality stuff, is are you actually going to notice this loss in detail? If you're not, then who cares? Huh. Um,
Enjoying yourself, I hope? Just humor me for a second.
you know, maybe it's just too ambiently dark here to really be worth looking around here for the shadow stuff.
For over a month, I have some of the world's most prominent people things that are
This I will probably get in trouble for, but I don't care. I want to try going up into the keep. I am aware I am trespassing. I think I will be able to get over here though. Yep. That, I thought I could go up higher. Maybe not. I don't remember where this gets me. Why is there a random car battery in here? Alright. Yeah, I'm thinking I'll stop. Oh, that's why, because I was under options when I looked at quit game. Not just here. Alright, so over to options, graphics. Need to check what all I decided on before. Medium, normal, 8. Normal, that's already on 8. SSAO, I believe I'd set what's off. Yeah. Shadow quality of high. Screen space shadows off. Reflection quality low. If you can go to medium or high, do it. Motion blur, your choice. Dynamic sharpening, I'm not seeing the difference, so it's still kind of your choice. Simulation quality, let it be what it detects. So, and it tells you right there what you should go for. So, yeah. Alright. That's... I mean, it was definitely nice to see these improvements. It's always nice to see that. Yeah, and I do think that because I know I can, I'm gonna go with that at medium, maybe high. The difference was, it looked like when I was testing earlier, the difference between medium and high is what is that base resolution, that base reflection resolution that is used, that then the temporal filtering improves upon. At high, it looked like it started from something more accurate than medium. But it's still, it looks like it ends at the same point, medium and high, so you should be happy with medium. If you can, get to medium. But if you can't, go with low. Nothing is wrong with low. And low doesn't have that ghosting artifact. Which, by the way, I'll just say I would not be surprised if that is something that does get patched in the future. Depending on if the developers see it and are like, you know what, I think maybe that we do have a way we can solve that. It would depend. But, you know, Hitman 2 is a good looking game, and I really like that they have taken the time to add in these more options, because it's their engine that they're using, so it's nice to see them. Hitman 2, they did make several changes to it, so it's nice to see that they're making even more changes to make it not only perform very well, it does perform very well and it looks very good, but that they're giving more control to the user as well. I am quite happy with that. Alright, so with that, I can stop and get this uploaded and shared. See you next time. I really don't know when that'll be. And I'm also kind of hoping that, well, right now I have some other things to do, and I'm kind of hoping that we don't see another update that adds more stuff like this. Though I will admit, Just Cause 4, if that gets an update that improves its graphics appropriately, which I actually feel I think they did put out a patch. I should check something in that. I may return and do a follow-up for that as well. But I need to see the update be worth it. This one, based on what it said in the patch notes, seemed worth it. Looking at it, yes, I feel it was worth taking the time to look at it. So anyway, see you next time.